your side first warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Erin Christiansen.
Well, our storms today have managed to move through the northwest side of town. Look at this picture sent to us by Greg Gaunt. He said, well, you know what? Not too bad. About 1/1300ths of an inch of rain in 10 minutes time. And we have another photo here from Marana, northwest side. Craig Smith took this one of a nice downpour there. Also heard from Jim Livings, one of our weather spotters on the northwest side near Linda Vista and Thornydale, about 22/100ths of an inch of rain in just 5 minutes. So our storms have been pretty impressive for the areas that have actually seen the storms. Here's our first warning radar. We continue to track this line of storms throughout Pima County, now headed up toward Pinal. In the final frames of this imagery, you see this big red blob right here. That is some hellacious rain coming down, up to 2 inches worth of rain falling per hour. So as that storm cell moves through, it's doing some serious damage. We have reports of damage in the San Manuel area, some pretty large hail, heavy rain, flooding. That hail has even broken some windows on people's homes. That is what we're hearing at this point. We're efforting, trying to get some pictures of that sent to us. You can send us your pictures through iContribute at KGUN-9.com. So we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning that covers this area, southeast Pinal County, through 6:30. So be aware that we could still have some strong wind gusts there, over 60 miles per hour, some large hail, frequent lightning, and some heavy rain. Also, our dust storm warning covering the same area, plus expanded throughout almost all of Pinal County. It does cover central Pima County as well for the Tohono O'odham Nation area. This dust storm warning takes us through 7 o'clock. So we've got a lot going on out there, even though you might not have received any rain at your house. Still, it's this I-10 corridor here from Tucson up through Phoenix that still holds a slight risk for severe weather throughout the course of the evening. In fact, I'm not certain that we're finished with our storms just yet. There were quite a few models that are hinting at a second round of some pretty wild weather here late after 10 p.m. And with that could bring some heavy rain, some flash flooding, and more of that damaging wind and blowing dust. We have an awful lot of moisture to work with in the air right now. This is our precipitable water map. I'm not going to bore you with all the definition, but you see this bright blue area here? Well, that's as high as it gets on our scale. That means an awful lot of moisture in the air to work with. We see that evidence here at the surface too, with these dew points that are so juicy in the 60s. So we've got enough water to work with. That isn't the reason we're not seeing more widespread rain. In fact, it could actually be a little too wet to rain, believe it or not. When you have a lot of moisture, you get those clouds building in. That limits the sunshine, and you just don't get that rapid mixing of the hot air at the surface with that cold air aloft to trigger those thunderstorms quickly. Instead, you have something that develops in the middle here, sort of a warm layer. We call that the cap, and that has a tendency to limit that vertical growth of thunderstorms. Once those storms start to build, they sort of hit that not quite hot, not quite cold air in the middle, and then they just stop. You'd like to see a huge difference between that temperature at the surface and that in the upper levels to really get the building of those storms, to get that convection or that thunderstorm activity going. So unfortunately, a little bit too much moisture for us today. 83 degrees right now at Tucson's airport, where we have had reports of some light rain, but our high today at just 98. So that means no record for a triple-digit heat streak. We'll have to settle with just tying at 39 days in a row for the longest heat streak. There's your 7-day forecast. 40% chance for storms tomorrow, 30% Friday, and our chance for rain starts to dwindle over the weekend, but our temps come back up to the triple digits. KGUN 9 in your sign at 6 o'clock. We'll be right back.